Well, of course, everyone knows that it's one composer, one lyricist, and one librettist, right? Wrong. Although that is a legitimate and sometimes still common way to collaborate in musical theater, but that's because there is no real way that it is generally done. Collaboration can be and look like so many different things, and there are zero hard and fast rules here. The most important thing is that you and your collaborators are on the same page when it comes to project, goals, writing styles, and collaboration. Anything else can be fixed or altered or come to some agreement on through experimentation and communication. Here are the three very general types of collaboration. Single element, where each collaborator is working on and ultimately responsible for one element of the collaboration. And I am using the term element here more broadly than just book, music, and lyrics. This can look like composer, lyricist, librettist, or songwriter, scriptwriter, or it can look like music, words person. And these are just a few examples. The elements here where each person is writing are separated out, although they will clearly cross over in some way and talk to one another. That's what the collaboration is for. I think we're all pretty familiar with the separated out composer, lyricist, librettist idea, but what are some examples of the others? Well, Stephen Sondheim most famously wrote as a composer-lyricist with a librettist, someone like James Lapine or John Weidman. But this does mean that oftentimes his lyrics would end up eating the book for the scenes written that they were writing the show for. So, it still becomes a collaboration even though Sondheim was the songwriter here, not the librettist. With the Legend of Sleepy Hollow adaptation that I've been writing with my collaborator Sean Havrilla, he is the composer, I am the words person. However, we have agreed that we have input on each other's work, and it's worked out well so far. And for a weird one, with the one-man show Swonderful, An Evening with George Gershwin that I wrote, my collaborators were deceased. They were the songwriters, and I was writing the book. But still, it is a collaboration between the elements, even though they weren't alive to talk to me about it. There is both a weird flexibility and inflexibility in this idea of the single element collaboration, but it is pretty common, you'll see it everywhere. Next is multi-element collaboration, and just like it sounds, this is where the collaborators have responsibilities that cross over between multiple elements of the collaboration. This can look like a composer and lyricist, but they both write book, or a composer and librettist, but they both write lyrics, or a librettist and a lyricist, but they both write music, or it could be everyone writing everything all together. Some friends of mine from the BMI program are writing a comedy horror musical together, and each of them is credited with a different part of the collaboration, but they've agreed to all work on everything all together, and it's really, really cool to watch. The product is awesome. There are so many wonderful ideas in the room. With the musical comedy I've been working on about the world of competitive baton twirling, based on my family's history with the sport, I am the composer and I'm writing the majority of the lyrics on that one, but my collaborator Jackie and I are both writing the book, and she's contributing to the lyrics a little bit as well. So who knows, that may develop even further as we go along the process. And sometimes people are credited in one way, but behind the scenes it was actually done a different way. Sometimes the composer that is credited is not the only person who wrote music for that show. Other people were involved as well, but they may be credited as something like a music supervisor instead of composer. There are so many different ways to do the multi-element collaboration. The biggest difference between these two is just the idea of where the responsibilities lie across the collaborators, because that's going to alter both communication and the way that they write. So you may end up taking your piece and writing off alone and then coming together, versus the multi-element, more shared idea where everyone might be able to write together in the same space just fine. Now there is one more type I want to mention, and that is the single writer version. This is where one person is doing book, music, lyrics, everything. But usually that doesn't mean that there isn't collaboration going on. It's just a different kind of collaboration. It might be a single writer with a director or with an entire team. And all types are valid as long as it works for everybody involved, and that is important. Also, a quick note that you don't have to have the same collaborator forever. Actually, I have different collaborations on every single project that I'm working on or have worked on. But if you're still not sure what it means to collaborate and need some practical experience, you can watch this video next here and learn about a hands-on way that you can learn these skills with me. Otherwise,
Thank you all for being here with me today, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers!